Nobody talks about what really happened between Odiama and Kere anymore. Officially, the government called it a community conflict over oil territory. The old men who survived know better, because people were not the only things fighting in those swamps. It started after the foreign company discovered crude oil beneath the river separating both communities. Overnight, the land became more valuable than human life. Before the oil, Odiama and Kere shared everything: markets, fishing waters, festivals, even marriages. Then the money came. Suddenly, both villages claimed ownership of the same land. Meetings turned violent. Friends became enemies. Men disappeared. And at night, the swamp began making sounds no one recognized. Not animal sounds, not human, something else. I worked security for one of the oil contractors back then. My job was to escort engineers through the creeks. That was before I saw the thing in the water. The first sign came during a ceasefire meeting between both communities. The chiefs agreed to gather near an abandoned drilling site deep inside the mangroves. Nobody liked going there. Workers had already abandoned the site weeks earlier after claiming they heard voices coming from beneath the ground. One engineer swore the oil pipes screamed at night. Everyone laughed at him. 3 days later, they found him floating face down in black water with his mouth packed full of crude oil. Still, the meeting happened. I remember the air feeling wrong that evening. Heavy, hot. Even the swamp was silent. No birds, no insects, nothing. The chiefs sat across from each other beneath a leaking canopy while armed men surrounded the area. Then the generator died. Instant darkness swallowed the swamp. And that was when we heard knocking, slow, metallic, coming from inside the oil pipes beneath the ground. Knock, 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 nobody moved. One of the Kere elders whispered something in his language and stood up immediately, terrified. Then the knocking changed. It became scratching, like fingernails dragging through metal from the inside. The oil workers panicked. One man shined his flashlight toward the largest pipe near the riverbank. That was our mistake. Because something inside the pipe moved fast, too fast. I only saw it for a second, a face, human but stretched unnaturally long. Its eyes were completely white, and it was smiling. The flashlight dropped instantly. Then someone screamed near the river. We turned and saw one of the guards being dragged into the swamp by something beneath the water, not pulled, yanked. Like whatever grabbed him was impossibly strong. His screams stopped the moment he touched the water. Panic exploded. Gunfire filled the swamp. Men ran blindly into the mangroves. But the darkness felt alive. People kept disappearing. 1 second they were beside you, the next second gone. Then the voices started, calling names from every direction, perfect imitations, dead relatives, friends, wives. I heard my own brother calling me from somewhere behind the pipes. The problem was my brother had died 2 years earlier. "Come help me," his voice said, soft, wet, right beside my ear. I nearly answered. Then I remembered something my grandmother once told me as a child. Never answer voices near black water after midnight. The swamp erupted with screaming again, this time closer. One of the chiefs came running out of the dark covered in oil, crying uncontrollably. He kept shouting. It came out of the pipe. Nobody understood what he meant, until we saw it ourselves. Something was crawling toward us from the riverbank. At first, it looked human, then it stood up. Too tall, its body dripped thick black crude oil endlessly. Its arms hung almost to the ground. And its face kept changing. One moment it looked like a man from Odiama, then someone from Kere, then a dead oil worker, then someone else. Like it couldn't decide what shape to wear. And wherever the oil touched the ground, whispers came from beneath the mud. Hundreds of whispers, all talking at once. The creature smiled slowly. "You dug too deep," it said. Its voice sounded like many voices speaking together. One of the militants opened fire. The bullets entered its body silently, no blood, no reaction. Then the man suddenly froze. He started coughing violently. Black oil poured from his mouth more and more, until he collapsed twitching on the ground. The creature looked at both communities. "You fed the earth with greed," it whispered. "And now the earth is hungry too." Then every oil pipe in the swamp started knocking at once. Loud, violent, like something trapped underground was trying to escape. The ground beneath us began moving, not shaking, breathing. People ran into the river trying to escape. That was worse. Hands started rising from the water, black hands, human hands, pulling people under silently. No splashing, no screams, just disappearance. I ran deeper into the mangroves with 3 other men. We hid beneath an abandoned wooden platform until sunrise. Only 2 of us came out alive. The communities blamed each other for the massacre, but both sides knew the truth. Something beneath those oil fields had awakened. And it was not human. The government sealed the drilling site months later after more workers vanished. Even soldiers refuse to guard the area at night. Today, the swamp is abandoned. No boats pass through it. No fishermen cast nets there. But sometimes, after heavy rain, nearby villagers claim they still hear knocking beneath the ground, slow, metallic. Patient, and on certain nights, black figures are seen standing waist-deep in the swamp near the rusted oil pipes, watching, waiting, as if something underneath is still trying to climb out.